Hello, everyone. It's your girl Angie, and I'm back again with another interview. Today, we are going to be talking to Yashi Carrington, and we're going to be talking to her about just thriving with a chronic illness, mainly PCOS. Personally, I have been dealing with that for a very long time, and I know there are many women out here that are building businesses, not building businesses, deal with it. And we're going to talk about how you can remain positive, especially those days when you feel like you don't want to do anything. PCOS is very silent, and just a community that Yashi has built that you don't have to be alone. You actually can be verbalize how you feel, and that's what we're going to talk about today. When we're building businesses, a lot of times people will say, well, you're separate, but no, really building a business, it really marries together, and the things that you deal with can also show up in your business. So we want to be well-rounded and be able to take care of ourselves on all different levels. So welcome, Yashi. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me, Angie. It's always a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you. And if many of you, hopefully, if you've seen it, and then I'll repost it. I was actually blessed to be able to be on her podcast to talk about journaling and dealing with the things that we deal with and how we can have different tools to be able to help process our emotions.
Mm.
So thank you for having me, and I'm so glad that we connected. So could you tell us a little bit about like your journey? Like how did you get to this point where you're at now with your website and all of that, which we'll talk about more, but like tell us the beginning stages of how you got involved.
Sure, no problem. So it has been quite a journey that I would say started really getting traction when I had my daughter in 2018. Before that, I say I led a more traditional route where I went to school, I got my degree in in engineering, and then I got a stable job, and I was doing pretty okay with that. But when I had my daughter, something happened inside of me where I realized I wanted to spend more time with her. I also wanted to be able to dream again and to show her what it means to live your dreams and really pursue your passions. But I didn't quite know exactly how to
Mhm.
go about it. I just know I had that desire in my heart. And so it started with me really going back to the things that I love. So like I used to love to write when I was growing up, but I didn't really pursue that very much. I used to like things like proofreading. And so while I was home with her, I started just looking at online courses, looking at how to make an income at home. And I started really looking into proofreading jobs. And then I started my blog in January 2019, actually.
Mhm.
And it really was just to really show my writing side and then, show things about my life, share a little bit about my life. And it didn't really, like a lot of things didn't really connect with persons until I started any article I would have written about my diagnosis with polycystic ovarian syndrome, I would get the most feedback on. But still, it didn't click to me that, this is something that I should really be looking into. And it went into a journey of me trying to figure out, it's like, okay, well, who are the people that I want to help? What is the audience that I want to help? And how can I make an impact as well as grow a business? And I still wasn't seeing it, Angie. It took me maybe till the beginning of 2020 when I started looking back and I realized just how much the diagnosis of PCOS affected my life. And it affected things from my self-image. It affected my relationship where I would have insecurities and I would feel that I didn't deserve to be with my husband, well, my husband now, because of the struggles that you have in terms of fertility and weight gain and all these different things. And I realized that those things started spilling over into other things where I didn't feel like I deserved to have my dreams, or, I didn't feel that I could do certain things in my life. So I'm also a Zumba instructor as well. And Zumba is something that really helped me in my journey. But I still had doubt where it's like, who's going to come to Zumba class with me who I struggle sometimes with, with energy, with keeping the weight managed and those things. But it was truly a passion. And from that point, it really was, you know what? This has been a pain point for my life. And now I need to pivot and realize that this diagnosis is not me. Yashi is not PCOS. And I really started sharing more and more about it, and then realized that I had close friends who I'd known for years who were struggling with this condition in silence. As you said, it's something silent. You can't tell that somebody is dealing with PCOS because we really do try to put on this. It's like, okay, we have all these responsibilities and we need to show up,
Mhm.
but not knowing the struggles behind it. And that's when I started looking into actually becoming somewhat of a guide and a coach, because I wanted to equip myself with the information, with the tools that I wish I had when I was diagnosed when I was 18 years old, which is way because I'm 34 now. And I only now feel like, okay, I'm seeing this condition, I am understanding it better. And it doesn't have to beat you down. You can manage it, you can conquer it. It's not easy, but if you have the right support and information and inspiration, you can help. So now I've really gone 180 where I am
Mhm.
trying to help women deal with it with a more positive and resilient mindset.
Lovely. I mean, that's so wonderful that now we have these tools available. And then also, too, that you went through it. Like you have a personal connection with people, not just saying, well, I read a couple of books and, I'm here to help you because I have the book
Right.
knowledge, but you also have the experience. So that's lovely. And so
Yeah.
this is how the website was born.
Yes. So I had the Mind of Yash website, which when I started first it was just general.
Mhm.
And then I started to pivot more towards the PCOS journey. And then I invested in coaching and these things to figure out like how do I really start going about this to really be impactful. And so I started doing a live show for PCOS Awareness Month in September 2020, and that has been such a blessing. I was able to have so many women on, and now it is what I dubbed the Persevering with PCOS live show, which you were on as well,
Mhm.
because I realized that women were really hungry for the information and to understand that they are not alone and they have certain tools and they have certain avenues and persons who they can reach out to. And that has been such a great journey to have. And then it culminated with me hosting a Persevering with PCOS summit in May, well, May, the beginning of June, really, the last day of May to
Mhm.
June. And that was tremendous because I really felt that persons, the connections that I've made along this journey have been such a blessing, and they have been so passionate because I guess people realize now that we need to speak up more as women, as persons who have these type of conditions, so that we can get people to listen and start advocating and doing what is necessary and not having the one size fits all
Right.
um,
Yeah.
thing before. So yes,
Yes, I saw, as I was looking at your website, I saw the summit and I was like, oh, wow, this is wonderful. But you had Dr. Cindy on there.
yes,
You had biochemist Mo, she was like Mo, right?
yes.
Biochemist. I mean, like, I was, what a beautiful lineup. And definitely, I was like, this is full of information. Yeah, that was wonderful. Congratulations on that. So I've had a desire to have a summit. I had invested in the course to create the summit, and then like it's just kind of sitting on the back burner. And I'm like, come on, that you've inspired me today to like actually like let's start putting this together. And so that's wonderful. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So what are some of the future goals you have for your business and all these wonderful things that you want to do and share with women?
Yeah, I've really been thinking about that, especially as 2022 is coming fast and furious. So I really want to have a plan for that. But because I'm not medically trained or a nutritionist or anything. I'm just somebody who is along on the journey with these women. I really focus on the mindset side of things because I realize that beyond PCOS, we really deal with a lot of self-worth issues where it is we sometimes don't feel like we deserve to have our dreams. And that's why I decided to become a self-worth strategist with the Women's School. And what we do is a training that does it speaks to all the arenas of our life. So we talk about your health, your self-image, your contribution, your wealth, your environment, your family, your intimacy, and your friendships, like everything, because we are not just we're multifaceted. There's so many things to a
Mhm.
person, and it's really spending time integrating those things because I realized along the way that society and culture kind of focuses on certain things. So building a business, which is good, or building your physical health. But sometimes we don't get the skills and resources to learn how to dream or to make decisions or how to build growth friendships or how to really take care of your emotional and mental health and these specific things that I think we really, and as I've gotten older, is things that I've really been on my mind, especially with my daughter. And the training really helps you to learn specific strategies and scripts and to build your mindsets and self-awareness so that you know how to integrate those things. Because when you don't pay attention to certain things, then the other arenas start to be depleted. So I really want to work with a lot of women who are in the PCOS space and who are dealing with those things, because I know a lot of the times that condition can really take a toll on your self-image and your self-worth, and it makes you not want to strive for certain goals that you have, or you feel like if you do strive for it, you might end up in failure. But it really is about learning those skills and having those scripts to say to yourself, and even using things like journaling as well, which is something that I love about what you do, Angie, because so much things are just in our subconscious, like you think you're just operating from your conscious, but you don't know how many traumas or the things, the experiences you've been through in your life really have been wired into your subconscious. And it takes work, a lot of work, to really rewire those patterns and to build your self worth, or I should say, to recognize that you are worthy and to design the self image and the person that you want to be. So I really want to work with women. So I do group coaching. There's a 6 month journey where we go through the content and we meet and we talk about it, and we talk about dreams, we talk about goals, we talk about really what you want out of life and how we can get you there. So I really want to focus on that because I think once you have that, because I always say it's you can do anything you set your mind to, but you need to set your mind up first. And that has been my journey because I wasn't able to really take back my power from PCOS until I worked on my mindset. So that's where I'm heading to, even more so in 2022.
Thank you for sharing that. And so many people who you hear the word PCOS, um, you get it. And some of you who are not familiar with it, could you explain to us a little bit what PCOS is for ladies that could be living with it and don't know, um,
True.
or this is a new concept, a new condition they've never heard of?
Yes, that's true. Yes, so polycystic ovarian syndrome is a condition that really affects different arena. Like it affects your metabolism. It's a more endocrine condition, even though the name sounds like it's polycystic ovaries. So you think automatically if you have cysts on your ovaries that you have polycystic ovarian syndrome, but it's not exactly that, though that is one of the factors that they look for. So in most cases, you have things like insulin resistance, so you're not able to break down sugars properly. You have struggles with weight management. You tend to gain weight, but there's also times where there's lean PCOS. So a lot of women go undiagnosed or misdiagnosed because they might look like they're slim, but they still do have PCOS because it really does affect your hormones. It's more or less like a hormone imbalance. You have symptoms such as you may have extra hair growth in places like your chin or your upper lip, but you also can have hair loss on your head, so male pattern baldness. There's so many other symptoms, but it affects each woman differently. So sometimes when you go to your doctor, they might prescribe you birth control pills and metformin, which is the usual thing that you hear. But you really have to go deep into the root cause um, that may be triggering your PCOS. So it's actually a very common condition. And so if you think you have it, they usually look if you have irregular periods, like a missed period, if you have excess androgens that are causing the those things like the extra hair growth and those things. And then they also check to see if you have cysts on your ovaries. But definitely, if you think you suspect that you're having that, then please, talk to your doctor so that you could be diagnosed properly.
Yeah, and then that'll clear up if you feel like some days like you're losing it, or I call it like kind of like a yo-yo-y condition. Like 1 minute you're cool, and then like your yo-yo comes back, and you send it out, and you're like, I'm not cool. It's just and just just knowing that you have this and that it's just not you as a person,
Yes.
but it's actually something that's pushing you sometimes in this direction. And when you're getting pushed that way, you can push back and say, I'm not
Yes.
going to go there. And like Yashi is bringing up, it's definitely a lot of personal development. As you can get in the gym and you can work out, you can work out. You can get the surgeries to help with weight loss, but PCOS still resides in the body. And so you'll start seeing that the fat going back to those areas where the hormones rest. I mean, it is definitely getting that mindset straight, even if you decide, because it's about, also exercise and diet, in having that mindset of like, wanting to be healthy. So it all goes back to that personal development and keeping yourself encouraged and having a community that you can lean on. So
Yeah.
definitely, especially, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's something as you were
Mhm.
saying it, I realized I didn't mention the things that usually I get frustrated when persons don't address it as well, because there's so many, as you said, there's so many mental things that when you get that diagnosis, first of all, that you go through, and then you have the days where you feel, extra fatigue, or you feel, the brain fog, or you feel the anxiety, and these are things that can happen with PCOS as well. So it's so important to also like as be able to have strategies where you manage your stress, where you sleep well, and to give yourself a little bit of a grace sometimes, because I think, well, at least in my experience, used to feel a bit guilty because I felt like, I should, like, maybe I brought this on for myself, or maybe I should be handling this better. And it really is not about that. It really is about understanding how it is affecting you, how your body is reacting to certain things, and taking these small steps to change it, and not comparing your journey to somebody else's, because somebody might say they did X, Y, and Z and they were able to manage their symptoms, and that might not work for you. So you just need to find out exactly what can work for you, and give yourself that grace.
And that's really the purpose of the podcast today, and why I do journaling and a journey to self-care, because it's really a journey. And with self-care tools, it's like going into a mall, finding your store, going through the racks. Oh, that looks good. I think I'll take it. So it's really shopping for the things that you need for yourself that will help you. One person like journaling and writing I love the feel of a pen and the smell of the ink and the paper, and it relaxes me. And I love diffusing essential oils when I'm doing it. So, but another person might be like, hey, it works better if I'm walking and listening to a podcast. I'm relaxed. I come home. I'm ready to do the thing. So, what we're endeavoring to do is just put out all the tools and say, this is what we do. We can help you. We're glad to do so. But also, there's other things that you can take a look at, especially when you're building a business. You really want to learn about yourself, you start a business because you learn so much about the things that you never thought that you would tackle emotionally and mentally. And so looking at those keys of wellness, like Yashi was bringing out, is really super important. And so that's why we're having this discussion, because sometimes PCOS is quiet. And, we also live in a world where there's lots of things going on. The pandemic can make you agitated. All the other
Yes.
stuff can make you agitated. But sometimes it's not even that. It's just the PCOS, the things that you're actually living with is really the culprit. But we
Mm.
can get all, because a lot of things are all around us. And when you
Yes.
think I should be happy, why am I not?
Mm.
You know, it can fall back on that. So, yeah.
Yes, so true. And I love how you put those visuals to things, and you go through. Now I'm gonna imagine that, going through the mall, and I love that visual.
You're like, you're trying on your friend, be like, nah. What do you mean you want to go mountain biking? Girl, that's not gonna be self-care for you. You don't even bike, right? You pick up that dress in the store, you're like, you like it, and your friend's like, No, yeah, but we try different things on, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, we put it down and try something else. So it's not
Correct.
one size fits
Mhm.
all when it comes to
Yes.
self-care. So yes. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for joining me and like encouraging others and encouraging me. I love having this dialogue. But before
Of
I
course.
send you away, we all know that I love to end with the journaling prompt. And so we're just going to pick one. Challenge me.
Ooh.
Ooh. Mm.
Mm.
What comes to mind when you hear that?
It just my whole journey really and truly, Angie, because what you ended with just now saying like if you want to learn about yourself, start a business. If you want to learn about yourself, really look at the challenges in your life and how you responded to that. And I think that challenges are something that we really should be grateful for. And it almost makes me think like, asking God, asking universe, okay, challenge me.
Mm,
Challenge me, let me grow. Challenge me, let me really become the person that I'm supposed to be. And really looking at the challenges as, lessons. Because when I really think about, PCOS, starting my business, motherhood, trying to integrate it all, they are all things that challenged me, but when I would never regret any of those things because they really shaped me into the person that I am today, and I am able to share that story with other persons. And I hope that when they hear my story they feel challenged, but in an inspirational way, like it's like, okay, this is the next challenge that I need to do myself so that I could get to the next level, and always having that next summit, that next goal, that next challenge to
hmm
overcome, so that you could really shine your light and be the true contribution that you are to this world, because really you are the contribution, right? Your light is what the world is needed, what the world needs. And sometimes challenges bring that out. So yeah, that's what comes
hmm
to mind.
No, thank you. I love that. That's great. I really like sums up what we're talking about in that challenge. I like what you said about, we all really are unique individuals. I was just having this conversation with my sister today. She just finished her nurse practitioner classes, so she's ready to take her boards and be ready. She really wants to design something, and I'm like, you should design it. She said, well, there's this and that. It's already out there, and I'm like, you know what? You're the only individual. Like you're the person that they may want to work with. And there's so many things happening in the world. You go and some people are trying to get in to see therapists. They're booked up. I mean, it's hard to just walk in like we used to be like, yeah, I want to go to counseling. Oh, appointment tomorrow.
Right.
It's not like that anymore. So meanwhile, we have to find tools and things that can help us like get through the day and get to the next day. People may not be went to school, but they do have life experiences. They can be a sounding board to help you as you wait for perhaps a therapist, while you wait for the professional to come in
Mhm.
to help. Meanwhile, what do we do meanwhile? We need to be able to express our feelings, or if we have to do that in a journal or do that collectively together as a group in a group coaching setting, at least it's available if you need it.
Yes.
We're not saying we're, you know, doctors at any by any means, but we do have life experiences and can help emotionally and be supportive while you wait on the next thing.
Definitely.
So that can be a challenge for some, just reaching out, but reach out.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
for
my challenge.
sure. For sure. And I think that's something my coach said, your vulnerability is your superpower for connection. And it really stayed with me because I really do think that when you have these struggles or these challenges, when you start talking about it, you really feel like you get your power back. And then you realize how many other persons are dealing with challenges themselves. And sometimes you really just need to know that you're not alone to really go through the next day, because you
hmm
look and you be like, hey, Angie's just killing it out here. She's having her journaling rooms, helping so many people. Okay, I need to, to do what I
hmm
need to do to get to the persons, because each one of us the has a unique person. Like your story will connect to somebody different than my story will connect to, and we all really
hmm
need each other, need that connection. I think what you
hmm
shared is so important.
Yes, yes, for sure. I would say, collaboration over competition, It's where we're at right now. You know, if we look
Yes.
back through history, people used to move as a family unit. And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, get out the nest. You're 18. Go figure out the world on your own. And you're like, uh,
What?
how do I
What?
make a doctor's appointment? What? How do you write in a checkbook?
Mom.
So it's like you really need each other. Really, we're starting to see that now. My sister keeps having this thing about we should just go buy land and we all live on it together. And I was like, you know what? I used to work all the time. Like, why not? So yeah, our challenges, we can not have to be so big if we all work together. Well, thank you. This was very lovely. It was like a little squeeze. I appreciate you coming here talking about being vulnerable and all those wonderful things. So, thank you everyone who tuned in. Please tell the world where they can connect with you if they want to have a conversation or connect up with anything that you're doing. That's wonderful.
Oh, sure, no problem. So I am very active on Instagram, so you can find me there at mind_of_Yash. You could also send me an email, connect@mindofyash.com. I also have a Facebook page for those of you who are there as well. Just look for Mind of Yash. You would find me there. And of course, my website, www.mindofyash.com. So I'm open, send me a DM. I'm willing to talk to you at any point in time.
So she's set up everywhere, like the
Yes, you can find
like
me.
McDonald's. It's like,
And I
hey,
still
she's
feel
over
like
here.
I don't have I can't like manage like all the platforms. So I was like, okay, this is enough for
Yes,
now.
yes. Well, at least if someone send you a message, you can get it if they're on Facebook or something like that.
Yes.
So yeah, great. Well, thank you everyone. Please definitely tune in next time. You definitely can catch me at um journalingforselfcare.com. That'll send you to all the places to connect with me. Of course, y'all know at liberateandlather.com if you're ready for some soap or candles. So definitely thank you for always supporting and listening and reaching out and commenting when we have really we have podcasts and you're very supportive. So I appreciate that. So
Mm.
thank you. And then we'll see you next time. And please be safe out there and we will stay in touch. Thank you.
Mm.
Bye.